Kayla.
Oh. Hey, Kayla.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Looks like you got something exciting to talk about.
You have an update for us.
I do. So, Matt, I spoke with you like 6 months ago. I doubt you recall, but I was getting married to an atheist.
Yeah.
And I was calling in regarding to a wedding we were planning, and you guys suggested a humanist celebrant, and we were going to look into that. Well, since then, I have decided to stop lying and let go of me trying to pretend to be a religious person when I don't really buy any of it. I just like it, but it makes me feel good.
Woo!
Thank you.
Yay!
And by the way, you got there way faster than I did and way faster than a lot of other people have. Well, congratulations. How was the wedding?
So the wedding hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
We're still getting married, and he's still an atheist, so I guess I'm still marrying an atheist. Except now there's no point.
Now you're not going to be unequally yoked.
Yes, exactly. So I don't remember if I told you guys this last time or not, but I was born and raised in Georgia. Mm-hmm. My family is very conservative. They're all super religious. My uncle is like a Calvinist who lives in the woods somewhere, and he already harasses me for dating an atheist. They don't know yet. None of them know, but they're funding and planning the entire wedding.
Oh.
Yeah. So we kind of already had broke the news that we were planning a humanist celebrant, that me and my fiance would pick that out, and that we would be kind of planning the ceremony stuff. We have considered breaking the news to them early so that they don't find out and freak out. We set a date for late August.
Okay, on the one hand, the fact that you told them that you're going to have a humanist celebrate, I think if other people are paying for something, it should be made clear to them. I mean, they're going to be shocked no matter what. But to say we're having a non-religious ceremony and event, that much they should know if they're paying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they already know that.
All right. Okay, good. Because you're like, the way it came out, and Jenna and I are looking at each other, it's like, yeah, they're all paying for it, and they don't know yet. And I was like, that's going to be a fucking awesome wedding.
No, they know about the humanist celebrant because Sean is my fiance. Sorry, he's been openly atheist since he was like 18. So
sure,
when we were dating, he was atheist. So they knew that the wedding would be largely non-religious.
Okay, perfect.
For his religious beliefs. So we're thinking that they may not notice. Denying the reality and ignoring it is what my family does very well.
Mm-hmm.
I learned it from them.
I know what you're talking about.
Bless their hearts.
So they may, do us all a favor and pretend not to notice anything until after the wedding.
Probably.
You might be surprised. So,
yeah,
my uncle.
That's kind of
my uncle came to my wedding, and of course everybody knew we were atheists, and we had a completely R and Ra performed the ceremony, and we didn't have it at a church. It was at an outdoor venue and everything else. And I had plenty of religious friends and religious family members who came to the wedding, and they all enjoyed it and had a good time. It was nothing shocking because they already knew we were a bunch of godless heathens. And so I think they were just glad that there weren't strippers and child sacrifices at the reception. But my uncle came up and talked to me very briefly afterwards because he wanted to know where we got the words that we put into our ceremony and our vows and all of that stuff. And because he was saying that seemed like a very secular humanist, thing. And I was like, yeah, we went and we took some stuff from Greta and Ingrid's wedding, bits and pieces that we liked out of theirs. We took some out of another friend's and some out of some recommendations from secular humanists. And then we sat down and wrote some of our own stuff. And then we published it all. As a matter of fact, it's probably on my Facebook somewhere,
cool.
The vows and stuff. Those things will be online longer than I was married. But it's really everybody enjoyed themselves. And one of my favorite moments from the reception is Don Baker, who's my other co-host on here. His husband, Elton, they weren't, I think they got married after us. or maybe just before. So it was all around the same time, like three sets of people got married. Anyway, so they come to the wedding, and we're at the reception, and people are out there dancing. And I noticed that Don and Elton weren't dancing. And I know Don well enough to know that he would have had fun out there dancing with his husband. So I walk over to Don and I said, "Hey, just so you know, if you guys aren't dancing because you're worried about offending, religious people in my family or whatever else, fuck them. I paid for this, and you're my friends, and you're my family, and you should get out there and dance." And in the Signs from God category, not only did ABBA's Dancing Queen start playing exactly then, but my dad and Beth's dad were dancing together out on the floor to Dancing Queen as sort of a joke. Look, we're so manly we can act gay. And I was like, get your husband out there. It was fun.
That does sound fun. So, but my major two concerns, which are things I've largely been preparing myself for a long time before I really admitted the truth. But when I called in last time, I kind of mentioned I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and sometimes it picks up on things and makes them crazy. It has done that with hell. So I want to be as prepared as possible for when my family does find out. They already don't know that I'm not entirely straight, and they're just very not nice. And so that's already going to be rough. But they're also going to blame my fiance because even though I had been considering my beliefs for a long time, I was not open about that with anyone except for him. So to their knowledge, I was, the best Christian in the world. And then I met Sean, and he dragged me into hell with him. So
I had the same experience.
Those are going to be.
It happened to Beth as well.
Yeah.
Beth was actually an atheist before I was, because she kind of got rid of it around 15 or so, but kept it hidden and even did Vacation Bible School. And so when her family found out that she was dating me and I was an atheist, they blamed me for that. And I was 100% fine with that, because if they're focused their anger and stuff on me and she looks more like a victim, at least they're not being as mean to her in this process, and let them blame me all day long while they work through it. And eventually, when they finally met me after trash talking me and proving that they were worse people than I was, they came to like me and we all got along. It's not surprising. And now I don't think anybody blames me for Beth because they know the truth.
Well, the thing is that you may find out that you have family members. Like, for example, I came out probably in the wrong way. I came out very, very quickly and on Facebook. I was trying to just get it all done before Thanksgiving a little over a year ago. And so I thought that would be easiest. But what I probably should have done is just hang out with people just naturally, and just as it comes up, discuss it then. But I don't think that it's something that I should have felt like I had to advertise. I just felt like I was being dishonest by not saying something, because it was so obvious and I was so open about my Catholicism before that I almost felt like I was hiding behind that by not saying something. But on the good side, I had several people reach out to me that I don't know how to describe it. It's like you think that they're all one group and you think that they're all thinking the same way, but then after you kind of pull back and say, "Hey, I'm an atheist, I'm not fully in this group anymore," a couple people will reach out and be like, "Hey, by the way, I'm on your side too, at least a little bit, and I'm here for you." And those relationships are becoming so much stronger than the few relationships I had amongst that whole group. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple closeted atheists in my family.
Yeah, no one is openly atheist in my family.
Right.
The first atheist most of my family met was Sean, and they asked me how I could want to be with the devil. And I was like, "He's an atheist." And they were like, "Yes, they worship the devil." And I'm like, "I think you're very confused. I'm the devil."
Yeah.
So they had problems with that, and you did when I came out as bisexual, where I kind of like made a big deal. Everyone was like, "Everyone needs to know right now." Mm-hmm. It did not go over well. It was kind of all the heat at once, right? And it was weird. People were like, okay, like, I don't care. Why are you, you know? So I kind of had said that, and with Sean's advice, to kind of let this come out naturally.
Yeah, and that can also work in your favor, too. Because now they're going to be sitting there, well, at least she's marrying a man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, we're still like one step closer. But I also think maybe...
Oh.
Hello?
And they imagine that this is following.
Can you repeat that?
Your phone's cut out a couple times, and so we missed the last thing you said.
Oh, sorry. I hope that they are suspecting that this is following, you know, because they always are really strong supporters of...
Even if they weren't suspecting it, they'll pretend that they were suspecting it.
Yeah, well, that's fine. So the major thing is just preparing for when they do find out, and the kind of position it puts us in now, planning a wedding, and people are asking, okay, like, what, you know, when do you want to do the prayer? Like,
so I'm not always the best. Like, when I get volunteers up on stage and I'll do like fake readings, I might do one after the show's over because there's a new trick that I'm putting in the show that I'd like to practice. But I do get a good feel from people. You seem kind of sassy to me, Kayla.
I'm a little sassy.
Yeah. I would think that probably the thing that's in your best interest is to just own that, and rather than making any kind of big deal about it, hey, this is the man that I'm marrying, this is the man that I love, here's what I think, here's what I don't think, it's none of y'all's damn business, and I'm going to live my life, and I still love you and care about you, and if you want to cut me out because you're bigots or whatever, I mean, you don't have to say all of this, but I think you'll be able to say it without saying it, in just, I'm going to be me and love my life, and I would like to keep you people in it, but I have no time and no spoons, ain't nobody got time for religious bigots who are going to try and shut me down or shut my new husband down.
Mm-hmm. I'm guess majorly concerned about, well, I'm already estranged from the majority of my family because they already think I'm going to hell for dating an atheist. But I'm extremely concerned about when people I care about. You know, I listened to you talk about your parents on your birthday or something. I heard a story.
Yeah.
When the people that I care about are coming to me like, hey, I'm really sad that you're going to burn in hell for eternity.
I'm really sad that you think that.
You know what you should say? I'm not.
Yeah. It's something that I told an entire Baptist church when Mike Lacona and I were debating the resurrection, is that I understand that I have relatives who are incredibly sad because they're convinced that I'm going to burn in hell and that I am leading people to Satan, and that this makes them look at me in either with fear, anger, or pity. And the fact that they believe this and that it makes them look at me with fear, anger, or pity and impacts our relationship makes me sad too. Mm-hmm. Because from their point of view, I've bought into a lie and it's really bad. And from my point of view, they've bought into a lie and it's really bad. I get it. Yeah.
So then you can say, hey, now what can we do from here? Can we suck it up and have a relationship without all this nonsense? And can we have a relationship without religion? And if you can't, that sucks.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, I like your sass. Nice sass.
Thanks.
No, that type of thing, the type of personality that you have, can actually work things. You've already done one thing, which is, coming out as bi and dealt with the potential consequences from that. Are they talking about you behind your back? Probably. Are they talking with each other about what their fears and concerns are? Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably. You got your life, and now you're starting it off with somebody else, and it sounds like, for the most part, you're ready, and let the chips fall where they may, and I think you're going to end up all right. And the big thing to know is that they didn't change the nature of this relationship. Something about you has changed. That doesn't make this your fault, but it makes it your responsibility to own that at the beginning. If the change in you puts them in a position where now they have to change the nature of the relationship, that is on them and their religious beliefs. And if you just let people know that, hey, I still care about you. I mean, my folks and I get along. We talk all the time, tell each other we love each other, because we do. Doesn't mean that there hasn't been some absolutely awful bullshit on occasion. But, you got to figure out what you're going to put up with. And I think you're already on the right track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. And Sean's been a really big help.
Oh, good. Yeah, you have him too. So that's.
If he hasn't been, you should cancel the wedding.
For sure.
Because if he's not a big help now, I don't think he's going to get to be a better help later.
Thanks for calling,
He kind of
Kayla.
said the same thing. Yeah, no problem. He kind of said the same thing about that Matt had said about, like, if they're mad at me, that's fine, because at least they're not mad at you. So,
Yeah.
So, okay, well, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
You.
Thanks for checking back in, Kayla. Appreciate it. All right. Well, 6 months, somebody has a conversation, and now they're an atheist, and they're getting married. Woohoo.
So funny, like how much people care about what you're doing, not necessarily how you're feeling, but what you're doing. Like I had a family member right after I came out that went up to another family member of mine that they're not really close to and was like, "Hey, we got to go get Jenna. We got to get together. We got to get her drunk because then she'll be a little more open minded. And we got to get together. So she's really messing up. We got to help her out, man. You want to get an alcoholic drunk to try to get her to believe in a God again? Like, I would never do that to you.
To be fair, my parents would never suggest getting me drunk to bring me back to God.
It wasn't my parents, but it was a family member.
I don't think anybody in my family would do that. So that's rather weird. And actually, because of the alcoholism, that makes it's like that became the target as well.
It was like, this is how we can do it. This is how we can get in her mind, is if she, she
By the way, for anybody who missed it, Jenna hit me. I hit her back. See how that works? No.